Hi, this is HardballRetro. Welcome to the Retrodome. Today we'll be doing a recap of the 1983 season replay that I'm currently undertaking. This will be through games of May 31st of the 1983 season, doing an as-played replay, um, so using the actual transactions, lineups, rotations, and schedule from the 1983 season. And we're playing with Digital Diamond Baseball version 12.1. So let's go ahead and jump right in, take a look at the standings, the league leaders, and then we'll take a look at the special event reports and see if anything unusual or interesting occurred in the month of May here. So, all right, let's jump into the standings here. The Blue Jays are out to an excellent start here at 33 and 12. They're 4.5 ahead of the Yanks. And let's see, in real life, Baltimore won this division. They're 10.5 back, so they'll have to put together a decent winning streak to get back in the race here. Cleveland also 10.5 out. Detroit 1 game under 500, and the Brewers are lurking here, but falling behind, and the Red Sox are just having an awful time of it here. 13 and 33 record, and they've lost 10 straight. So they were already struggling, and then they went ahead and reeled off a 10-game losing streak. So Boston's basically out of it at this point at the end of May. Toronto there with a 9 and 1 out of their last 10 to close out the month, and they're at a plus 80 run differential, so that's looking promising for Toronto. Over in the American League West, we've got the Chicago White Sox up by a game and a half. They eventually won this division. They actually blew away this division, so we'll see if they and they just went 9 and 1 to get to this point. So the Mariners were out in front for most of May. Kind of a surprising 29 and 21 record here for Seattle, but they're still right there in contention as of now. Oakland 5 back. Everybody else is sub 500. I'm managing the Angels here. You see the little thumbs up icon. That means this is a human managed team. We were kind of bouncing around 500, and we've struggled the last week or two here. So run into some of the AL West clubs have been giving us trouble. Specifically, the Yankees, I think, took 5 out of 6 from us. So something like that. Minnesota, KC, they're pretty much out of it at this point. Kansas City kind of surprising, 15 and 27, and lost 10 in a row. So over in the National League, we've got the Expos out in front of the NL East by a half game over the Phillies and the Pirates. Philadelphia eventually wins the division in the real life. So we'll see if they're able to pick up the pace here a bit. But they're right in it. And then three teams below 500: Cardinals, Cubs, and Mets. The NL West got San Francisco out in front with a 30 and 17 mark. 3.5 up on the Dodgers. The Dodgers won the West in real life. The Braves hanging in there. Who else we got here? And then, the Astros, Padres, and Reds are below 500. Not too far off the pace. This division is relatively tight compared to the others. Although actually the East is the tightest here, with the Mets only 7.5 back. So, okay, that's the standings at the end of May. Let's look at our batting leaders. Wade Boggs, 402. Um, Not a surprise there, but some of the other guys might be. Andre Thornton, 363 average for the Indians. He was tearing it up against me last week. Rudy Law, 355 for the Chi Sox. And then we have Carew and Herndon at 351. Carew was up in the 380s. He slumped recently. Brunansky, 15 homers, leading the way here for the Twins. Then we have Dave Henderson, second in homers and the RBI leader with 41 there. Doug DeCinces, 12 dingers for the Angels, followed by Carlton Fisk and Davey Lopes. And in the RBI column, we've got Henderson over Thornton, Big Dave Winfield, Kent Herbeck, and Willie Upshaw. All right, NL batting, Silent George Hendrick, 371, slightly ahead of Tim Rock Raines, Pedro Guerrero, and Bob Horner. Guerrero and Dale Murphy leading the way in home runs, 13 apiece. Greg Brock, Andre Dawson, Bob Horner with 11 home runs. RBI lead, Bob Horner of the Braves, 46, one better than Andre Dawson of the Expos. And then we have Brock, Ray Knight, Dale Murphy. AL pitching leaders, Jim Beattie of the Mariners, 1.35. Luis Leal of the Blue Jays, 1.79. Ken Forsch of the Angels, and Rick Lysander of the Twins. Win leaders, Dave Stieb of the Jays. Well, that's why Toronto's up there in the standings. Stieb has 10 victories already. And Matt Young of the Mariners with 8. Chris Cotteroli, Jim Gott, Jack Morris with 7 apiece. The Goose, Rich Gossage leading the way with 15 saves. Salome Barojas with 14. Same with Bill Caudle, Randy Moffett, and Aurelio Lopez of the Tigers with 13. Senior Smoke. NL pitching lead, we've got Bill Gullickson of the Expos, 1.62 ERA, slightly ahead of Atlee Hammaker of the Giants. Bob Welch, Andy Hawkins, and Larry McWilliams. Some names from the past. This is right around when I started collecting baseball cards, so all of these guys are very familiar to me. Let's see, Bert Hooton, 7 victories. Fred Brining, Steve Rogers, Fernando Valenzuela with 6 wins apiece. Save lead, we've got Gary Lucas, 15, Frank DiPino, 13, Steve Howe with 12, Kent DeCulvey, and Steve Bedrosian rounding out the top 5. MVP after the end of May here, Dave Henderson over Andre Thornton, Herbeck, Winfield, and Gary Ward. AL Cy Young, Stieb, obviously Dave Stieb ahead there. Jim Gott of the Jays, second. Matt Young, tied with Matt Young. And then we have Jack Morris and Dave Righetti of the Yankees. Righetti was a starter. This was the year that he threw the no-hitter on July 4th. NL MVP, we've got Pedro Guerrero, slight lead over Andre Dawson and Bob Horner. Dale Murphy in the mix, Tim Raines. And NL Cy Young, we've got Bert Hooton over Fred Brining, Steve Rogers, Lee Tunnell, Fernando Valenzuela. All right, I'll leave the who's hot at the plate and who's hot at the mound up for a moment here. And the current hitting streak and longest hitting streak is Tony Bernazard in the AL, Jose Cruz in the NL. And I don't think we need to go down there. Okay, so let's go to special events. sports. And view. And let's scroll down a bit here. Home runs in a game. We had a 3-homer game here from Gary Ward. And he knocked in 6. We probably don't have too many things to check out here, so let's look at that box score real quick. This was against the A's. The Twins won the game 11-7. There's Ward 5 for 5, 3 home runs, 6 ribbies. Looks like all of them were off of Bill Kruger. Okay. Hits in a game, Dave Parker, 6 hits in a game there. Two guys hit for the cycle. I was involved in this one. Lupinella hit for the cycle against me. And Andre Dawson. Inside the park homer. Nope, that was back in April. Strikeouts in a game. Jack Morris with 12. And this is where we would find no-hitters. We don't see any no-hitters here. So that's going to wrap this up. So we're, as we said, going into June now with a couple of teams staking a decent lead in their division, and a couple divisions are up for grabs. So keep an eye out for the June recap, and as we move further into the 1983 as played replay here. All right, thanks for watching. Take care, keep playing ball, and we'll see you soon.